Hey everybody, welcome to this video cast. I'm Howard Jacobson of Sick to Fit, Well Start Health, Well Start Coach, Plant Yourself. And today the talk is inspired by the Grateful Dead song, Grateful Dead lyric, Ripple. And the line is, Ripple in still water. And I want to talk about the difference between coaching and telling and solving. Because a lot of us in the plant-based movement, we've studied a lot and we've learned what to do, and we've, studied at the school of hard kitchen knocks, and we figured out how to change our diets, and we figured out how to overcome cravings, and we've seen the effect on our bodies. And maybe we've started walking or running or some other form of physical activity. And we have learned a lot, and we know a lot, and we have a lot to offer. And then if you want to go get trained to help people, you're probably going to get trained to dispense advice and information. So here's what to eat. Here's a meal plan. Here's a shopping list. Here's something I did that worked. You should try it too. And there's nothing wrong with those resources. They are actually critical. They're very important. The trouble comes in when that's how we approach people who need our help. So if people's problem is, I don't know what to do, then telling them what to do seems like it could be a solution to the problem. And it can be a short-term solution to the problem or a solution to a particular problem. So if someone says, I don't know how to read labels to figure out if something is healthy or not, then you can show them how to read labels. You can give them an app that they can hold over the barcode and it will read labels for them. You can teach them the names of different ingredients. But almost never is that the problem. Because we live in a world in which all information is freely available. You don't have to work very hard to find something on the University of YouTube or to find things on blogs, to find forums, to find free online classes. Information is not really the problem. And we can't give people skills. We can only give people instructions and feedback and the space in which to practice. That's how people develop skills. You can't give your skill to somebody else. The real issue is the follow-through. Is people who kind of, okay, I kind of know what to do. Maybe I'm not doing it perfectly. Maybe I'll still screw up, make mistakes, but I know enough to get started. And those people, we don't see that that's the problem. We just see, oh, there's a knowledge gap or there's a skill gap. And we kind of rush into the rescue. And sometimes, as I said, that can work. We can solve the person's problem for them. But the problem is we've solved the problem for them, which means we have taken ownership of the problem. And we haven't increased their ability to solve their own problems. We haven't expanded their capability. We haven't expanded their ability to creatively address shortfalls, gaps, limitations. We haven't made them better at doing in a broader scale. And we haven't increased their self-confidence because they have relied on us to solve their problem. And so now, what have they got? They've got a problem solved, and they're now imprinted upon us, more dependent on us than before. Next time they have a problem, they're going to come running to us even faster. So that's not the way to produce ripples, because what we really want to do as coaches who are stunting repping a healthy lifestyle, we're interested in changing the world, are we not? Right? I mean, it's great to see our peeps eating healthier and feeling better, but we're on a dying planet. And the planet is dying largely because of the consciousness of all the people who are on it. People who are eating the wrong thing, who are medicating themselves with consumption, who have blinders on, who are not in touch with the pain and the beauty and the love in their own souls, and they're not getting there. They're not able to see it because we live in a society that piles consumption upon consumption upon consumption over that hole in our soul, because as long as the hole in our soul is there, consumption will never solve the problem, and we can keep consuming indefinitely. So it's a greed issue, right? And greed is essentially fear of lack that metastasizes into something that creates lack all around us. So we want to ripple out. We want our own experiences, our own wisdom to empower others so that they can move on in life without needing us, so that they can empower others as well. If you are living the plant-based lifestyle, but you rely on someone else to cook all your food for you, and you rely on other people to keep you from straying, then you're in no position, psychically, emotionally, actually, to help anybody else. You are completely dependent. And as coaches, our goal, our mission is to help people become independent of our efforts, to become their own healers, to become their own problem solvers. Not to say that they can stop using coaches. I'm not saying that you need to become independent of the need for coaching. But coaching should get you independently able to solve new problems as you develop your skills. So if we want to create ripples in the still water of our culture, of our civilization, of our society that is hell-bent on keeping people addicted and distracted and high so they don't face what's really going on inside them, if we want to create ripples in that stagnant pool, and we want the ripples to keep spreading out, then we have to coach. And it means we have to come to people not with the answer, but with good questions that help them problem solve, with good data collection methods that help them see their own problem in a new way. Because you know what? People have been trying to solve their problems. Someone who weighs 300 pounds has been thinking about that for a long time. And they've tried a bunch of stuff, have they not? They've dieted, they've taken pills, they may have tried drugs, they probably tried Bulletproof and Keto and Atkins and South Beach and Mediterranean and everything. And they haven't found success. But it's not because they're stupid, and it's not because they haven't found the right thing yet. Right? People haven't found success because they are framing the problem in a way that the only thing they can do is try again, try harder, try more of the same. And trying more of the same almost never works. So as coaches, our job is to help people collect data. And by data, I mean data, not opinions, not interpretations, not judgments, but facts on the ground. And one of the great skills you learn as a coach is to take people's story and help them extract the useful data from it. And once people are allowed to just look at data and they don't feel like they have to carry the cross of judgment, of self-loathing, of guilt and shame, they can let that go and they just look at the facts on the ground. Then very often insights simply leap into their minds and they say, oh, well, if that's the problem, then I could try this. And they become scientists and they try this. And this might work and this might not work. But now they are in science mode, in curiosity mode, in I wonder mode, as opposed to stuck in the mud, right? Unable to move. You know, the metaphor that I love to use for coaching is helping people get traction. And when I think of people without traction, I think of the truck stuck in the mud or the sand, the wheel spinning. And what every driver wants to do is mash down harder on the accelerator to get out of that. And everyone knows that doing that simply digs you in deeper. So doing more of the same, doing more intense of the same, doing it the harder is not the solution, but it's the only solution we have until we can see the problem in a new way. So I want to offer you that one of the superpowers of coaching is to help people reframe, to see the problem in a completely different way, or even in a slightly different way, which then opens up different possibilities, different options, and it allows for an inrush of creativity. And when people experience that inrush of creativity based on a new perspective, then they are empowered. Then they can embody the change, and they are not reliant on you or on someone cooking for them or on someone waking them up at 6 in the morning to go for a run. They become self-directed. They become autonomous. Because they own the problem, they own the solution, and they own their own development. And those are people who can then go out into the world and continue to the ripples and continue so that you're the pebble tossed and you make some ripples in people. They can also become pebbles and make concentric ripples going out from them. And that's how we change things. Not by teaching, not by telling, not by haranguing or scolding, not by taking responsibility or accountability for other people's issues, but by becoming a sounding board, a mirror, and a guide for data collection. Impartial, dispassionate, rational data collection that allows all the judgment, all the negativity to drop away so we can look realistically, clear-eyed at what's in front of us and come up with new solutions. So if you would like to develop this superpower, I want to invite you to join the final coach training that I'm offering in 2019. And you can find out more at wellstartcoach.com. And it really is a superpower. Yeah, it's great to be able to coach people formally, if that's your gig, if you're a coach. It's great if you're a healthcare professional, a doctor, a nurse, a dietitian, to be able to counsel your patients and not just give them more motivational interviewing, because that's like pumping up a leaky tire. Yeah, if there's no air in the tire, it's not going to go. But if there's a leak in the tire, motivation is not the way to fix it. That's just pumping it up, and while it's draining out through the hole in lack of follow through. And if you're just a regular person, if you're a manager or a member of a team at work or a member of a family, and you see people around you struggling to do things they want to do, you can learn skills that will allow you to coach them without ever overtly calling yourself a coach. Just through the questions you ask and the way you come to the situation, you can give them tremendous support and help. So here's to a world in which all that stagnancy gets moving, in which we stop this malaise, this decline into consumer-fueled despair. And we turn things around and we make the world a safe, just, loving, sustainable, verdant place for all our relations. And one of the best ways to do that is by becoming a kick-ass coach. So again, wellstartcoach.com. We start in November, the final coach training of 2019. If you have questions, you can hit me up. And at the bottom of wellstartcoach.com, after you've read everything, listen to some of the experiences of people who've been through the program, there's a button that will allow you to sign up for an enrollment conversation. Do it sooner rather than later, because we're going to get started real soon. And I would love to work with you to help make this a better place and to keep dropping those stones in the still water and making ripples. All right. Be well. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.